about challenges and your group embracing them to head up to Boston to face a team that you've had some success in, that is definitely not going to take you guys for granted or underestimate you. Now, how big of a test can this be for your group, especially knowing the way they play at home?
No, I think it's a great opportunity for our guys. Them being undefeated at home, the Garden is packed, it's loud, and so our guys are prepared and ready for the situation in which we're going to face. But it's a great opportunity for this group.
You talked about bringing your defense on the road. What's the key to that? I mean, is it just a matter of making sure that the intensity is the same, or telling the guys we need to bring it, or what goes into that process?
Those are great points. I think the one thing that it is it's a high level of communication. The thing that this group has continued to do is we play hard. We play hard, we play for each other defensively, but on the road, because of the atmosphere, because of the environment, you've got to be more connected. You've got to communicate with each other at a high level when the building is loud and people are screaming. You've got to make sure that you're connected together on the floor.
Statistically, it's offense that's really struggled on the road this year. How do you kind of bring some of the juice that you have offensively at home on the road? How do you help the offense travel?
You have to allow your defense to create the offense, and I think a lot of times on the road you get away from getting easy baskets. So we have to focus on getting stops to be able to get out and run. We don't want to try to always hang our hat on the offensive end where the shots are going in or out. We want to make sure that we're continuing to focus on what we can do defensively, and that's our energy, our effort, and our level of communication.
Two straight against the same opponent. Are there separate approaches, or does the second game depend on how the first game?
Well, we've played them once already, so having some film to look at then, them obviously not having Porzingis in the second half and then Drew Holiday not playing, those are factors in it. But that first game, you have to treat it, come out and do what we do. And as that second game happened, as we approach the second game, you look at the adjustments that needed to be made from game one.
It's been a year exactly pretty much since you went into Boston last year, won those two games. I know it's a year, but from what you remember, did you feel like the team started clicking after that, especially mentality-wise?
Well, I think any time you can go into an environment as such as Boston and come away with a win, it's big. But ultimately, it's our guys' belief system and what they're capable of doing. But then I'll go back to what we said before. It's going to be about our defense, how we play, how we defend, and how if we're able to get out and run because of the stops. And knowing that environment, it's going to be great for our guys to experience and feel what that atmosphere is like.
You talked about it before when you guys had the series with Chicago and Washington. How valuable are series like these, being able to kind of feel some of those adjustments and build off of previous games that you've had against the same team?
It's so good for this group because of you can talk about it in real time. A lot of times when you're watching film back from maybe 4 or 5 games away, you forget that feeling. But once you've played a team right, one game away from each other, it is so good that the guys recognize exactly what it is and the adjustments that they know that need to be made, that the coaches are emphasizing. You can feel that, and the guys can ultimately communicate exactly what they see as well.
How's Joe doing?
Joe's good. Joe's good to go.
The rest of your team, you got Jonathan back last game, Jalen was back last game, Paolo and Joe were both able to return, but how is health-wise overall?
I think we're in a good space right now. I think the only one, the only two is we'll continue to look at Wendell and Markelle as for what they'll be able to do.
Their second day back in practice, were they able to do a little bit more? How was kind of the second straight day of kind of doing some of the work?
Well, they both felt good, which is a great sign. But they were do a little bit more, a little bit more contact, but not full go. So I think it's really important that we just continue to monitor and make sure that we're not trying to get ahead of ourselves, that we bring them back the right way.
We were just talking to Markelle, and we talked about it's more about the long term, maybe even the second half of the season, maybe even down the line further. Is that the mindset that this team takes for him in his recovery?
The mindset is just whatever gets our guys in the best position to be successful, and being healthy for this group is so important. So we look at it in different ways of just being able to say, well, how do they feel in this moment is one thing, but also over the long haul, what's going to be important for them for this season as well as their career.
Both of those guys are important pieces to this team, but how do you kind of game plan or plan integrating them back in into the group and into kind of the bigger picture when you start playing games?
Well, that's the beauty of having some practices and some days in between. You know, you can mix different lineups, different matchups, and we say it as a group. We do it as by committee, but also each guy knows what their responsibility is once they hit the floor, no matter what unit they're with. The continuity that this group has been great, and it'll continue to grow.
Your team and players were all over the community yesterday, from a hospital visit to giveaway with Pepsi to the one you went with Markelle. Just how big is it to give back as an organization this time of year?
You know, we've talked about it a little bit last night, and I just truly believe that it is so much bigger and more important than the game for us, that we are in the community supporting the people that support us, but just being able to know that, especially this time of year, it's about the service that you can provide, the care and love in the community for people and the fan support and those that may not have, but basketball is a beautiful thing that it allows us to bring people together and do things for people that may not have in certain situations. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys.
How are you feeling and how are you progressing through your recovery?
I've been progressing great, just taking it one day at a time, really just trying to get the best out of each day, push myself to the limits that I can go, just taking it day by day and just seeing how my body recovers to everything. But everything's been recovering good, so progress has been going well, and I'm just really looking forward to the next steps in this process, but just controlling what I can control.
How nice has it been taking the step to be out there practicing with your teammates and going through some of the drills?
It's huge. Again, just being able to, sit out, you always learn so much when you sit out, just being able to see where your teammates are best at, where you feel like you can implement yourself into it. But just to be back out there with the guys, it just brings a different joy to me. Again, obviously with all the great things that we've been doing, just wanting to get out there with them and try to help them any way I can. That's all I've been hoping for. So to be back out there and practice and just being able to move around is great.
What are the next steps in the process for you? I mean, what does the timeline for your return look like? Do you know?
It's still I can't give you a timeline. Just been taking it day by day, really just trying to get the best out of each day and see how my body responds. I think that's been the biggest part. With what's going on is just pushing it and making sure that nothing goes wrong. I'm thinking a long game here. I don't want to come back in and play a few games and have to sit back out. I'd rather, when I'm back, I want to stay back for the long run. So we've just been doing a great job of just, taking it day by day and really pushing myself every day to get a little bit better and get closer to stepping out there.
How did the issues start? I know you started the season, obviously, you kind of had that kind of false start with the Mexico City game. How did the issues start?
Just after the Clipper game, I realized my knee was swollen and just really stiff. I didn't have any pain, but just really swollen. And from there on, I just wanted to make sure that nothing was wrong. Of course, my previous injuries, having an ACL, I wanted to make sure there wasn't nothing wrong with that and that. So pretty much went about it, just checking that out, and everything was good with that. But I did have, pain and tendonitis in it, which is common in a lot of guys. But the pain was unbearable. I didn't want to go out there and hurt, myself or the team. So I had to sit it down and really let it heal and get the swelling out. And that's what we've been doing. And now that I'm able to ramp up, just watching my knee and making sure it doesn't blow up like it did in Atlanta.
With an injury like that, I know it's just kind of managing swelling and it's just kind of a waiting game. Is that part of it frustrating? It's just like, I want to be doing more, I want to be doing treatment, but it's just got to kind of wait.
It's super, because some days I feel really good and then the next day I'm really sore and hurt. So it's a tricky game, but with the great staff we have here and the stuff that I've been through, I have a great understanding of my body and understanding what I feel comfortable and what I know I need to be comfortable at in order to go out there and play the game to the best of my ability and help my teammates to the best of my ability. So really just been focusing on those and checking off those boxes and getting closer every day. So again, I'm super excited just to be able to the last couple of days to go through practice with my teammates, get up and down, some light contact with that and see how I feel recovering from that.
You said you get closer every day. Are you sooner than later? How close?
Yeah, I think so. I believe sooner than later. Again, I don't want to put a timeline on there and then, we're all looking at it like, damn, he said this date. It's kind of hard to understand, but I definitely feel really, really good. I think I'm closer than later for sure.
Kelly, you were out in the community yesterday, doing a giveaway that's become special to you. Just how special is it to do it at this time of year, and how much do you enjoy, engaging with the community?
It's huge, man. Around Christmas time, everybody always gets in the spirit. Some people don't like it, some people do. I love Christmas, and to be able to be blessed enough to help kids in needs and help those parents, one, just seeing the smiles on their face and seeing how excited they are to get gifts that they wish for from Santa, and also to be able to help their parents out with groceries and other things like that, it just gives you a little extra spirit, and I think those type of things help you on the court, I think those go into the universe, and it just gives back to you. So, again, that's something that my mom has instilled in me since a young age. My daughter's birthday was yesterday, so for her to be able to see that, even though she's 2 years old, and be around that type of energy, I think it's good for my family.
It was this time last year when you guys went up to Boston and won 2.
Yeah.
I know it's been a full year, but what do you remember from that trip? And did you feel like it was that trip, or did you kind of feel like things started really turning your favor?
I think so. I think, as anybody knows, Boston's a hard place to win in. How loud that arena is, how good that team is. And to go in there and get 2 wins, I think was huge, not only for the confidence of our team and what we were building, but for everyone individually to understand that, we are good and we can be really good when we're locked in and we do the things that we need to. So we know that, they're probably not going to forget us beating them the last couple of times. And, it's not going to be an easy game. It's not a game that we can go in there and relax and think that, we're going to win. It's a game that's going to be a dogfight. And I think we're prepared for that and excited to go in there and try to pull 2 more.
What are your impressions of what you've seen from Anthony Black filling in your starting spot as a rookie? And what's impressed you about him?
Just him not being scared. I think him embracing that and going out there and playing the game that he loves. I'm pretty sure you guys see him in here putting up extra shots, getting in extra work. He's a workaholic. He loves the game, and he goes out there and competes at a high level, and I love that. I think that defensively he brings a great tack with his length, being able to defend multiple positions and just give effort. And then on the other end, just being able to move without the ball, know his place and continue to be, great, not chasing anything, just letting the game come to him and play great basketball.
How has Coach Mosley helped you in this process while you've been away from the court?
He's been huge, man. Just continue to talk to me, Wendell, just letting us know that we're part of this team. And, although we're doing a great thing right now, we're a big part of this team moving forward, and we need everyone, 1 through 15. And just being great, he checks on me mentally, physically, make sure I'm doing well, and that's all I can ask for. He cares about me as a person. So.
You mentioned trying to learn something while you've been out. What have you learned about this team during this stretch?
We're dogs, man. We're gonna fight defensively to make it tough on teams. Offensively, we're really good when we share the ball with each other. Paolo and Franz are doing an unbelievable job of playmaking for everyone and themselves. So that's something that I realized, and just letting them know, when I come back, it's the same thing, letting them be comfortable, bringing the ball, making plays. I think we're all interchangeable. I think it's something that's one of our strengths, and it's just good to see it actually happen in full fold, right now. So I'm just super excited for the opportunity to get back out there with them.
All right, go catch it.